Hello my friends, welcome back. Today I have a quick flip through of a very full traveler's notebook. I've been working on a couple of traveler's notebook inserts over the last, I would say 2 months, 1 month. That's not bad going for me at the moment. These are inserts that I have made myself. I have a variety of tutorials here on my channel for how to do that. Honestly, once you make your own, you will never look back. They are super duper easy and you can make them exactly as you want them. These ones are a tiny bit different because I have added pocket pages into them, and I shared the tutorial for how to do that over on my Patreon page. So I will leave the link down below if you are interested in learning how to do that for yourself. In the meantime, these are just really pretty basic inserts. They are white paper and they have this really pretty kind of, I found this like gradient cardstock pack at Kmart. So I've got a couple that are very, very pretty. It was difficult to choose which ones to go for. We're in the winter months here in the Southern Hemisphere, so I picked some kind of blue ones to be representative of that. And the first page is very representative of where we started. Not ready for the colder months. They are not my favorite months at all. This is what I mean by adding in a pocket page. So I have a pocket here. I have trimmed this one back so that I could add this pretty border punch. And I have printed out my journaling on vellum, which means you can kind of see both the title and the photo depending on which way my pocket is flipped as I go in there. A lot of the pages that I work on, I don't actually work directly into my notebook. Sometimes I do, but because I'm generally filming either for here on YouTube or on Patreon, it just is easier for me to film flat. So I do tend to like stamp on separate paper and then paste that into my layout when I'm finished into my notebook. So this is one occasion that I've done that because I wanted to stamp on both sides of my pocket and I wanted that to be nice and flat. So I worked flat on the desk and then pasted both of those papers into my notebook. This was another, I was playing around with showing my patrons different ways to use the pocket inserts. This is one that I really, really love. It's a pretty simple spread. I'm using a 6x6 paper pad. Generally, I don't love 6x6 paper pads for putting in notebooks because they don't fit the full height of my page. But I used 2 papers that were the same and managed to create this sort of top half looking layout. And I really love how that turned out. So this was from, I can't remember the collection. It's a Pink Fresh Studio one, kind of orange, let's call it tan, let's call it coffee colored and pink. So I used all of those little accessories to decorate my coffee themed page. And then these little coffee confetti cutouts I made myself on my silhouette a very, very long time ago. That was a freebie cut file over on Patreon as well. And so I've actually adhered them onto a separate piece of it's not acetate, it's the same plastic as I use for my pocket pages. I've adhered them on both sides and then stuck that into the pocket. So that way my confetti never falls down to the bottom. It is always spread across the pocket. This was a non-pocket page, so I didn't put the pocket pages on every spread. I do like some plain ones in there. Just a little bit of a stash page. This one I was trying to pick out all these sort of tan and tan and pink, very similar to this one, isn't it? It's kind of my theme for the winter months, I guess, coffee and journaling. This was using a sketch from my sketch vault, which again is another freebie over on Patreon. So I'm basically scrap lifting myself for this one. This page is actually, I guess, a hybrid page. I used some digitals from Citrus Twist, and the only thing that's added to this page that isn't digital is my Instax photo and a couple of pieces of washi tape. So everything else I designed directly into Photoshop and then just printed out the 2 halves of my page which meant I get a whole lot of look on very minimal printing. This page was for Rosie Studios for the Bayfair collection. I was really obsessed with this dark navy floral paper, and it's something like I never would have imagined that I would be drawn to. It sort of seems like it's completely opposite for me. I don't love sort of dark, busy patterns like that. But there was something I just loved about it, and I really wanted to challenge myself to find a way to use it. The easiest way for me to do that is in a notebook, because there's a whole lot less of it than there would be on a 12 by 12 spread. And this is what I ended up with. So balanced on the other side with some light and brightness, I guess. Another pocket page and another stash dive. I found an older collection from Rosie Studios, Jumping in Puddles, I think, to put together this little cat theme page for my Wild and Crazy Baby Willow. This time in the pocket page I had a bunch of little cat die cuts, and again I've spread them out so that they will stay in the pocket. This time I've used my fuse tool to create this grid, and I've spread out the colours and designs of the cats just to create a kind of a little bit of interest and a little bit of colour to what otherwise was a black and white photo. This was actually one of the earlier pages that I did in the notebook. It just happened to fit in here. And again, using the pocket a little bit differently. This time I used some vellum and adhered my title onto there. So I just like the kind of frosty look that you get. Like, it's not all about this huge photo, which is kind of busy and dark and overwhelming. It kind of lightens things up a little bit. One of my favorite things for a quick notebook page is full page photos. You'll see them a few times in here. It just makes it a little bit quicker. You only really have to design one side, but sometimes that can be a little bit dark. This was just a nice alternative to that. I did some repeat stamping on this side, again on a separate bit of paper. Very hard to stamp into a full notebook. And then I added this little journal card pad, which again, very old, I think from Studio Calico, many years old. So I added my journaling onto that and popped that on here. Last page in this notebook, and again, that's the thing with making the notebooks yourself. You can make them as big or as small as you like. I generally like to keep this many pages in them. I'm not sure how many that is. 12, 14 sort of pages. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spreads. A little bit thicker this time with only 8 spreads because of the pocket pages in there, but I'm not bothered. I made 2 and that's exactly what I'm using them for. Again, another sort of bigger photo. This time I split it across both sides of the spread. When I do that, I tend to split the photo. I don't like things folding over the middle pages. It just makes it a little bit harder for the notebook to close and open, and you end up ruining the photo anyway, so you might as well just cut it down the middle. And this was another kind of stash dive, really. I think I did use a sketch as well for this one, and just a whole lot of pretty colors for my very pretty girl Pearl. And that's it. Like I said, a very quick flip through for this notebook. I do have a second one almost finished, so I imagine I will be back pretty quickly to share that one with you as well. I hope you have enjoyed watching the video today, and I will see you again really soon. Bye, friends.